down, I know you got me, baby.
Corporate governance is how a company is run. It's about setting rules and practices. These ensure the company is managed ethically and responsibly. Good corporate governance is crucial for long-term success. Corporate governance involves a system of checks and balances. It guides how a company operates. It defines the relationships between different stakeholders. These include the board of directors, management, shareholders, and employees. Effective governance ensures accountability. It promotes transparency and fairness in all business dealings. It is not just about complying with laws and regulations, it's about building a culture of integrity and ethical behavior. This essay will delve into the essentials of corporate governance. We will explore its importance, principles, the role of the board, and its impact on performance. We will also examine real-world examples of good and bad governance. Strong corporate governance is essential for several reasons. Firstly, it builds trust with investors. When investors have confidence in a company's governance, they are more likely to invest. Good governance signals that a company is well managed and transparent. Secondly, effective governance helps to mitigate risks. By implementing strong internal controls and risk management processes, companies can reduce the likelihood of financial irregularities, ethical breaches, and legal issues. This in turn protects the company's reputation and long-term sustainability. Thirdly, good corporate governance promotes a culture of accountability. When everyone in the company understands their roles and responsibilities, it creates a more ethical and responsible work environment. This can lead to increased employee morale, productivity, and innovation. Lastly, companies with strong corporate governance are more attractive to potential investors, customers, and business partners. They are seen as more stable, reliable, and trustworthy. This can lead to greater access to capital, new business opportunities, and enhanced brand reputation. Effective corporate governance is built on a foundation of key principles. These principles provide a framework for ethical and responsible decision-making. They guide the actions of the board, management, and employees. One fundamental principle is transparency. This means open and honest communication with stakeholders. Companies should provide clear and accurate information about their financial performance, operations, and governance practices. Transparency fosters trust and allows stakeholders to make informed decisions. Another critical principle is accountability. This means holding individuals responsible for their actions and decisions. Clear lines of accountability should be established throughout the organization. This ensures that everyone understands their roles and responsibilities. Fairness is another important principle. It means treating all stakeholders equitably and justly. This includes protecting the rights of minority shareholders, ensuring fair compensation for employees, and engaging with communities in a responsible manner. Finally, independence is crucial, particularly for the board of directors. The board should have a sufficient number of independent directors. Independent directors are not employees of the company. They do not have significant business dealings with the company. This independence allows them to provide objective oversight and make decisions in the best interests of all stakeholders. Section 4. The Board of Directors, steering the ship. The Board of Directors plays a pivotal role in corporate governance. They are responsible for overseeing the company's management, strategy, and overall direction. The board acts as a steward of the company's assets, protecting the interests of shareholders and other stakeholders. One of the primary responsibilities of the board is to appoint and oversee the CEO. They evaluate the CEO's performance, set their compensation, and ensure they are held accountable for the company's results. The board also provides guidance to the CEO on strategic matters, ensuring that the company is moving in the right direction. The board also plays a critical role in risk management. They oversee the company's risk management framework, ensuring that appropriate controls are in place to mitigate potential risks. They also monitor the company's financial reporting, ensuring that it is accurate, transparent, and compliant with all applicable regulations. Furthermore, the board is responsible for setting the tone at the top, fostering a culture of ethics and integrity throughout the organization. They establish ethical guidelines, oversee compliance with laws and regulations, and ensure that the company is operating in a socially responsible manner. Section 5. Corporate Governance and Company Performance, a tangible link. Numerous studies have demonstrated a strong correlation between good corporate governance and company performance. Companies with strong governance practices tend to outperform their peers in terms of profitability, growth, and shareholder value. Good governance leads to better decision-making. When companies have transparent processes, clear accountability, and a culture of ethical behavior, their decisions are more likely to be sound and in the best interests of all stakeholders. This can translate into increased efficiency, reduced costs, and improved profitability. Moreover, strong governance reduces risk. By implementing robust internal controls, risk management processes, and compliance procedures, companies can minimize the likelihood of costly errors, fraud, and regulatory violations. This, in turn, can lead to greater stability, predictability, and long-term sustainability. Furthermore, companies with good governance are more attractive to investors. They are seen as less risky and more likely to generate sustainable returns. This can result in a lower cost of capital, greater access to funding, and a higher valuation in the market. Conversely, poor corporate governance can have a devastating impact on company performance. Companies with weak governance practices are more susceptible to financial irregularities, ethical scandals, and legal battles. These issues can damage their reputation, erode investor confidence, and ultimately lead to financial ruin. Section 6. Real-world examples, successes and failures in corporate governance. The business world offers numerous examples of the impact of corporate governance, both positive and negative. One notable example of good corporate governance is Johnson & Johnson. In 1982, the company faced a crisis when 7 people died after taking Tylenol capsules that had been laced with cyanide. Johnson & Johnson responded swiftly and decisively, recalling millions of bottles of Tylenol, implementing tamper-resistant packaging, and communicating transparently with the public. The company's ethical actions, driven by a strong culture of corporate responsibility, helped to restore public trust and ultimately strengthened the Johnson & Johnson brand. On the other hand, the collapse of Enron in 2001 serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of poor corporate governance. Enron's downfall was caused by a combination of accounting fraud, complex financial schemes, and a lack of independent oversight from the board of directors. The scandal led to billions of dollars in losses for investors, the loss of thousands of jobs, and a significant erosion of public trust in corporate America. Another example of poor corporate governance is the Volkswagen emissions scandal in 2015. Volkswagen was found to have installed software in millions of its diesel vehicles to cheat on emissions tests. The scandal led to billions of dollars in fines, a significant drop in Volkswagen's stock price, and irreparable damage to the company's reputation. The scandal highlights the importance of ethical leadership, robust internal controls, and a culture of compliance. Section 7. Conclusion. Good governance, a foundation for success. In conclusion, mastering corporate governance is not merely a box to be ticked. It is the bedrock upon which successful and sustainable businesses are built. Corporate governance fosters trust, mitigates risks, and enhances company performance. It requires a commitment to transparency, accountability, fairness, and independence. The board of directors plays a crucial role in governance. They must provide effective oversight, set the strategic direction, and foster a culture of ethical behavior. Companies with strong governance practices are more likely to attract investors, retain and build lasting relationships with customers and communities. The examples of Johnson & Johnson, Enron, and Volkswagen illustrate the profound impact of corporate governance, both positive and negative. Companies navigate crises, strengthen their reputations, and achieve long-term success. Conversely, poor governance can lead to financial ruin, reputational damage, and a loss of public trust. Therefore, the principles of good corporate governance is not just good business practice. It is essential for survival and success in today's complex and interconnected world.